Cornell Cooperative Extension of Orange County presents 4-H Incubation and Embryology Online.
Surprise, we're hatching geese!
All right, so we are also hatching some geese. So we're really excited. We're gonna candle them today, and they have 13 days until they hatch.
As you just heard, and Frank spilled the beans, we are hatching geese. We were so excited and had so much fun. On our last series, we decided to do another. So 4-H turkey, geese, and chickens, oh my, is our next lesson and series. But today is all about our geese. So reminders, when we did our incubation and embryology project, the first thing that we started with was our definition of incubation and our definition of embryology. Okay, so incubation is maintaining a controlled environment condition for the purpose of favoring growth or development. Embryology is the branch of biology and medicine that studies embryos and how they develop. So, in turkeys, geese, and chickens, oh my, we are going to study the incubation and embryology, as well as breed characteristics of our turkeys, of our geese, and of our chickens. This class, we're also going to focus on specific breeds, but stay tuned for each of our lessons to learn what they are. But like we said before, today is all about our geese. So reminders, we only use fertile eggs when hatching. Fertile eggs come from special farms called breeder farms, where roosters and hens live together. Or in this case, you'll learn what a gander and a goose. Remember those words for later on. So first we have to do our check. Why do we use our incubator? Well, sometimes if you don't have a farm, how are we going to learn about incubation and embryology? So we have to use our incubator so we can do this in an educational fashion. And our incubators are really great. Here's why. It maintains a safe environment for hatching fertile eggs. It replaces our hens or our goose. It must be checked daily, but it also does this really great thing where it rotates our eggs at a 3-degree angle every 45 minutes. When this happens on the farm, the mother hen or the mother goose will turn her eggs or roll them. So we can't do that necessarily every day. So this is why we have an incubator that does it for us. So at a slight 3-degree angle, every 45 minutes, our incubators will start to chirp. We have to remember that we have to add water every 2 days. But when we're talking about our geese, after day 5, we're going to lift up our incubator and we're going to spray our goose eggs twice a day. Another thing that our incubator does is it provides ventilation, which is clean, fresh air that moves through the incubator. The next thing it does is humidity. We must keep our eggs moist so that the chicks develop normally and prevents dehydration. So in our case for geese, we're not talking about chicks, but we're talking about goslings. A really cool thing about geese, as I mentioned before, is turning those eggs. But we also said a fun fact was keeping them wet. As our geese progress through our hatching phase, by day 20, we're going to be cooling the eggs for about 20 minutes a day. What we'll do to reenact the goose is we will take the incubator top off of our eggs. We will then allow them to cool for 20 minutes. Then we will spray the eggs with water from a spray bottle and then place the incubator top back on. What this does is it simulates the mother goose when she gets off of her eggs, goes for a swim or finds food, and then comes back and sits on her eggs. Nature's pretty cool, isn't it? So what breed of geese are we incubating? We are breeding African geese. So the breed purpose is for meat. The egg color they lay is white. Their egg size is extra large. A male is called a gander, and they can reach up to 22 pounds. Our female is called a goose, and they can reach up to about 18 pounds. Market weight, our weight for what we process the animals, is 16 to 18 pounds. Our geese that we're using, remember, come from a breeder farm. So they have the purpose of a gander and a goose. So their purpose is to mate and make fertile eggs. So African geese. African goose are not actually from Africa. The breed descended from a wild swan goose, just like their close cousins, the Chinese goose. Actually, the origin of this breed is not well documented. So we rely on conservationists to constantly gather information about this breed of goose. More fun facts. African goose, our bred, is better known for their docile temperament, so they're pretty friendly. They usually only lay 20 to 40 eggs per year. So that's a lot different from our chickens, right? After 6 months of age, they lay 1 egg every day. So the eggs of our African geese, or our goose, weighs 5 to 8 ounces, and that's pretty heavy. It takes 30 to 32 days for our goslings to begin to hatch. So that's when they first start to make their pip. Okay, so once they first start to make their pip at between day 30 and 32, it's going to take 3 more days for them to completely come out of their shell. It's worth the wait. So as I said before, baby geese are called goslings. So let's get going. So these are our eggs. As we said before, they're 5 to 8 ounces, so we can see just how big they are. This is larger than the whole palm of my hand. It goes right into my first knuckle. And this is a picture of what our geese, our baby goslings, are going to look like after they've hatched and dried for a few days. I myself think they're pretty cute. So meet the parents. These are our parents. On the right, we have our father. He's making his way around the farm. Very, very pretty. And on the left, we have our mother and father pictured together. This is Lucy and Boris. We're very excited to see what their offspring will look like. So candling our eggs. Here's pictures of us candling our geese eggs, as you can see, but I don't want you to forget what candling means. So candling is the process of looking inside of an egg without cracking it. We do this to see if the chick, or in our case, the gosling, is developing properly. A bright light is used to candle the egg. So remember, we shine the light right through the air pocket and into the egg. We'll catch up with Riley and Frank later to see what our candling looks like in real time. So remember our air cell. We will be marking our air cells to see how it changes during our embryo's development. All right, so we need to get our brooder box ready. So getting our brooder box ready is basically the same when we got them ready for our incubated chicks. We need bedding, a heat lamp, feeder, and water in a secure space. We have to remember to put our lamp on one side and our feeder and water on the other to encourage our goslings to begin to walk. But so you know, remember your checklist. We always wash our hands. We always make sure our incubator is working, add our water, and that our temperature is 99.5 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember, our rules are to do nothing, let the incubator do everything. But if we have to do something, we wash our hands. As our goose eggs progress in their incubating, remember we said that we would be cooling the eggs from time to time. We start with 5 minutes and then move up to 20 minutes. So on our 20-minute cooling, we take off the top of our incubator. We let our eggs cool for 20 whole minutes. Then we spray them down and cover our eggs again. Remember, this simulates the mother when she returns to the nest.
So these are our geese eggs when we candle. We can see the air sac. We can also see veins, and we can see that it's starting to develop and take up more parts of the egg. How exciting, guys, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is our second goose egg. And again, we can see the air cell, how it's blocking the light, and there's some veination. So this is so exciting. We have 2 goose eggs that if everything goes right, it's gonna hatch. You can see it moving.
Wait,
You see at the bottom.
Wait.
Look at the bottom. See? That's where its head is.
Oh, I see
Pretty
it.
cool, right?
So, our goslings have just started to pip. So by our next video, they'll be out and hatched. So stay tuned for our next video on the 21st. Bye, guys.